Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Me Live broadcast of a brand new format powered by WTRL. The chase race is on, and I'd say it's a brand new format. It does have some harkening back to the chop. It's got some harkening back to the Hares and the Hounds, obviously, that has been out on Zwift, but something new. And Nathan Guerra here, obviously, our professor is with us with her whiteboard, probably geeking out 100% at this point. Anna Russell. The reality of this AutoCat system and what it's able to accomplish here is you can't really mess with the categories. Anna, you want to give us a quick overview of what the chase race is just all about and how awesome this is?
Yeah, I mean, we've been bugging out on this before we went live. There are crazy numbers on the start pins for this race. I'm super excited. I'm racing later today. I've tried this format a couple of times with the NZ Bro Crew, and it is so fun. So I'm absolutely pumped that WTRL and Zwift have got behind it. And obviously the community has responded. It's huge. We've got 5 different categories auto-catted in. So it's not like usual where you go in and select. You are placed in a category, which makes it really great, really fair racing. A, B, C, D, and then E is the elite pen, and they will be starting very soon. They should be out on course. So they're 10 minutes behind the Ds. Basically, Ds go first. They get a little bit of a head start over the Cs, then the Bs, then the As, and then the elites are chasing them down. First across the line is the winner. But, and I think this is where it's going to be interesting watching the racing, is you have to work with your group. It's not like a typical Zwift race. You don't go off and try and win against your group you're in. You're trying to use the group dynamics, catch up, and then in kind of the last 2 kilometers, it becomes an all-out race to the finish, and it's just bananas. So yeah, 1,700 people racing that last 2K to the line. This is going to be epic.
It's going to be so epic. And when they start making the catches and the group swells even more, I mean, for those that don't know, it's, the Ds are going out with this 10-minute lead. They need to kind of figure out who's going to stick with them, who's not, because they're being chased hard by the C, the B, and the A, and the pro elite categories. It gets really exciting toward the end. Up front, we get the categories heading out on course. The Bs have just got out on course for about 5 minutes. They've 12 minutes or so in with the Ds. Let's go ahead and jump on in with them. They're about to hit their hilly reverse climb. We'll also get a quick look at the course that we are going to be taking on today. It is going to be the Magnificent 8, and Magnificent 8 does have one significant climb in it. They also have the Fuego Flats, Titans Grove leaving Fuego Flats actually, but not too significant there. That's a little bit of probably a 1.5 punch, but this is going to be a solid for the D category. I'm going to say 5-ish to 5.5 minute climb. If maybe I'm giving that a little bit too much there. I am doing, usually I'm looking at like a 350 to 410 at the elite level. So this is really where the time can be lost, Anna, when it comes to these lower categories.
Well, Nathan, I'm just seeing a comment coming into YouTube. The A group earlier today did 3:45 up this reverse KOM. So these groups are absolutely flying. You can just see here on that little mini map in the top right just how many riders are here. They're strung out a little bit, so these riders are obviously maybe just getting in a little bit of a groove. They should probably, in this drafting segment of the climb, head back to the group and really work together. What we are going to see, I know from doing this kind of racing in the past, is a lot of comments coming in from the group, because the group does have to work together. And if you're a little bit smart about it, you can go back and you can try and watch a rider in the group behind you, see what pace they're going, see what speed, see what kind of power they're dropping, see the difference in the time gap between the groups, and let your group know. So you can already see there's a lot of comments coming in, people asking others to ease off. So others not wanting to do that, apparently. I think this is where we're going to see that little bit of tension between those who don't quite get this format yet, that you've got to work as a group until that last part of the race. There's no flying solos off the front. That's not really how this one works.
Yeah, you get a little bit of organization, and we're going to see over the weeks, maybe if we do get this organization going and kind of get some captains maybe a little bit starting to emerge from the community. We'll see how that ends up playing out. But you definitely do need a certain number, especially in this D category, when they head over the top here, more of a TT type effort. The on the back end, we're looking at 28K, Anna. They still got 20K to go to hold off hard charging packs here at this point. The gap back to the chase for the C's Go ahead and see if Kess has been caught. Kess already being caught, actually, as some of the C riders start to come flying by. This was one of the riders that went out just a little bit late here, and you do see this C category making the catch. They're already at the bottom of that climb, actually. It looks like D category here, then with a solid, from what we can see, I'd say they still got a solid 2, maybe 1.5 minutes here still on that C category, but you could see they were hard charging. They're going to be in the blue kit today. Anna, talk a little bit to the awesome new kits that each of these categories are going to be getting.
Yeah, so this is some of the most exciting news coming out of this. I love myself a good kit. And today we've just got sort of some basic stand-ins for the new kits, which I think will be arriving next week. Head over to WTRL.racing and have a look at them. They're pretty slick. I love them and I love my fashion. And you've got the E's purple, full purple kit with a big E on the back, A's full red kit with an A on the back, then the B's green, C's a kind of nice aquary blue, and then the D's are yellow. So you're going to get a real spicy little kit there to go with your racing, and it's just going to look really cool out on course. Everyone in it together in a really brand new kit. Next week, I think, is when they'll roll out.
Good questions coming on through over in chat as well. Chat, we will be pretty interactive today, just so you know, being as in this is really about the community and what the community is up to, being that each one of the categories is more of a team of its own. So we essentially just have 4 teams each and every stream. We'll be able to interact with you, and it'll be kind of fun to have almost a stadium-like effort from each of those who are cheering on their category and getting behind them. We really appreciate everybody hanging out here and being a part of that. Looking at one of the questions from TR Play 1, is there an established Discord channel for the teams? And that would be a really cool, but something that would need to be managed a little bit. And maybe we'll shoot that up the ladder and see what we can do to throw down some organization. Also would be fun to jump in maybe with the commentary, Anna, and hear what the orders are happening in those Discords and how happy everyone is or not happy with each other.
Yeah, I mean, looking at a D group of, over 120, I think the B's was, over 700, that Discord would be pretty intense. If there wasn't push to talk on, there would be so much heavy breathing. It would just be insane. So not sure about the Discord. Maybe for, like we sort of said, maybe some leaders could get in there and just have a little bit of chat of strategy and things like that. Or you could even have all the different groups on a Discord, maybe a leader from each doing a little bit of smack talking and seeing where the others are coming from. But what I'm seeing at the moment is just a lot of on-screen chat. That seems to be what works. We've got a lot of flags you can see on the right-hand side too. So we're not looking at just English speakers here. I'm seeing German, French it might be, another flag. I never like this flag quiz part of the commentary, but a lot of different flags here too when you've got over 1,700 people in the pens. A couple of Ds just dropping off. It looks like they've got a little push-out group on the front of maybe just about 15 to 20 riders. So Ds are splitting up a little, which again, not super great for the strategy, because when the Cs start to catch, they're able to bunny hop, kind of like you'd see riders bunny hopping through the team cars in the Tour de France. They're able to bunny hop through all the different little D groups, and it makes them faster. So never a great thing to have a lot of split up groups behind you.
As we do see, this is splitting up pretty badly at this point. We've only are down to, from what I can see, as they take the left-hand turn onto Fuego Flats, I have a feeling that the C category is going to start seeing this chase pretty quickly. I don't think they're quite on the map. Well, they are. They're just cresting. That C category is just cresting the top of the Watopia reverse climax. You can see in the little mini map in the upper right-hand corner. So this is going to be the D group, trying to stay away. Yanjo Ferris from Z España has been the leader of the day, it seems like, as he encourages on the C category. Great to see him. Long time Zwifter, actually, and very familiar with this, I believe, setup and race format style. I actually think I remember Yanjo being a part of some of the old school chop races we used to do. Broadcast with AHDR as well. So good to see him hanging out again. And I have a feeling he's going to be cracking the whip for the rest of the day here for those C's right now.
Yeah, the question I guess I have for the community who have already raced is, can you find the other riders using your companion app to actually go click on them and do a rider view? That's the question I have, because that's what I'll be doing in my race tonight, to check how close the group is behind me. But don't get caught out. I've done that once before, and I was in rider view and kind of forgot, and then thought I was that rider and just kept riding, and then realized that I'd totally dropped off the bunch I was in. So be careful with that if you're clicking around riders a bit. But I always found that quite a good strategy. So if you can actually do that in these, I wonder if people are looking at those time gaps. I think just looking at that mini map, that blue sort of blob is coming pretty quick. And if that's a big group behind and they've just had that downhill off that reverse, oh, and you see the bees here as well. That is a huge group at the front. They are absolutely mowing through.
I'm all the way
blue
back at
jerseys of the
129.
seas.
I'm back at
Wow.
129 trying to move forward right now. Like, I can't even barely move forward. But this B
Wow.
category is blown to pieces though right now, which is
Oh.
interesting enough. And I believe it started with like how many was it? 700? Am I right about
Yeah,
that?
over 700. Over 700.
Huge amount of B riders. It does look like they have a front group that is forming here in this B category of about, I say, a little under 100 riders, flying at 83 kilometers per hour here, about to hit that Fuego Flats in just a little bit here. Steven Kirchmeier there, a little bit of up from there, and that's got to be in with the elite category. I wonder what kind of speeds they're holding on to. We'll see if we can jump around to them a little bit. Apologies, we are getting a little bit of a mishap here with our ability to jump across categories. As soon as we can, I will jump over to a few of the others here in just a moment. But as you can see, the B category catching a lot of these C's here at this point. About to take the left-hand turn into the Fuego Flats. Have they caught all of them is going to be my question. We're going to go a little old school here and start helping out with ZwiftPower.
Yeah, I think, and also I just want to do a little shout out to the new drafting effect in Zwift. This looks pretty good with a huge group like this. This is looking great. Just spread out across the road, moving in and around riders. Just a little shout out there that this is, I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. And I love the thing with this racing. I kind of made the mistake when I first did one that because the groups are so big, you kind of get like a little bit of a break. You can sit in the draft, but everyone is so motivated to catch. It's actually really hard. You're almost riding at threshold for the whole thing. And then, like I said, in that last sort of 2 kilometers, when all the chasers have picked up the groups ahead, you just go bananas. So it's like a threshold effort and then an over sort of VO2 max at the end. It's hard racing.
Super, super. Okay, now this is actually, so there we do have something that some people might not know is from the old school chase racing, actually, ZwiftPower.com did develop some pretty cool little graphs actually up at the top of the live event. So if you did want to check some of that out, you could. We'll bring some of those graphics up on screen in just a moment here. It does look like I believe, from what I can see, C category at this point still a little ways behind the D's at this point. We'll jump in and watch that catch though as it is made. It does look like they are still a solid half a kilometer or so behind them. I do believe the C's are going to be making that catch. B's have chilled out just a tad, it looks like, as they head into Fuego Flats as they continue to try and press on. At the front, what kind of pace do you think, Anna, that the B category at the front is going to be holding on to? Like, what is that limit? Actually, maybe we should bring in our man over at WTRL to let us know a little bit about that. Martin, can you give me a thumbs up if we can chat a little bit about cat limits? Okay, hold on. All right, cool. Martin, actually from WTRL, is with us right now, who put together obviously one of the best new features out on Zwift, the AutoCat system. For this specifically, Martin, what's going to be the expected pace at the front of a B category? Or across the categories? Maybe speak to them all.
This is a tough one to call, particularly for this event, because of the sheer numbers of people in here. I mean, AutoCat is designed around grouping people up to groups of around 150 people, and I think it's the B had 740 odd signups. I don't know how many physically arrived yet because I haven't checked. But yeah, speed wise, that B peloton's going to be moving pretty quickly. The C one is not small either. And I believe the A is pretty large, and I think there's something like 70 A plus riders within the E group as well, the elite group. But yeah, AutoCAD is essentially looking at who's joining, and it's trying to group all the riders together so that you should get some competitive pelotons, and then it's calculating the differences required between the groups in the hope that the groups come together in the last few kilometers.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's pretty awesome what we've got going on here. Obviously, when it comes to this new AutoCat and what they're doing on the front here, seems to be working pretty well across the day. Because earlier today you said, Martin, that it hasn't been the same categories across the board. A lot of times we've seen the chop and some of the chase races where it just was consistently the same categories, but on the same course, same race, different regions, and you've got a lot of different categories winning so far today, from what I could tell, Martin.
Yeah, no, we've had the A categories win. The A group, were winning Zone 2, I think it was, and the B group won Zone 3, and that was headed up by the Zwift CEO, Mr. Min himself, won the B group's time and brought victory to the B group. And I think first thing this morning, I think the C group won in Zone 1. So it's been a good mix.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And awesome to see that Zwift are obviously getting involved and taking part in the chase race as well. Thanks, Martin. That's Martin from WTRL. Anna, always great to see the support in the community from WTRL and what they've put together here and that AutoCat system. What do you think, Anna, about the probably something to do with numbers? I mean, what's your idea there with your whiteboard as to why the different categories are winning across, or just maybe different regions have different strengths? What's the deal?
Oh, I mean, I think like Martin said, I'm going to need a couple of weeks of whiteboarding here because it really is so number dependent. I'm actually just delving into this great graph I'm seeing on ZwiftPower with sort of these time gaps. And what I'm seeing is it looks like that kind of gap from C to D is the one that's really plummeting the most. So the C's, and I have seen some chat on the screen coming up. The C's seem really motivated. They're in the blue colors. Yeah, this is the graph. It's I was glad Martin was up there because I was really delving into this and geeking out a bit. So this is awesome. Just seeing sort of how quickly it's coming down. So you sort of saw back at 6 kilometers, it was a sort of a 2:24 gap between C and D. And then, 7K later, it's down to almost under a minute. So yeah, C is really rolling up on D. I think because of the sheer numbers of the B and C groups, they had really high numbers of races. They might be a little bit more evened out, but the Ds had a bit less, the A's have a bit less, and the elites are even less. So they don't have that big drafting benefit. So they're really going to have to work hard to come through and pass. I mean, the elites are going to have to show the reason they're elite because they don't have as many riders here catching up. So, I mean, that's all I've got at the moment. It's going to take a few weeks to figure this out with just the numbers. It changes everything with having a group of 700.
Look at the C category there. As you can see, a 45:07, 44:38 for B, 44:59. These are estimated times. At the moment, we're seeing B category for the win. At the moment, that's what, according to this graph at this point, the speeds that have been covered. Time gaps between the categories still here, as you can see. Pretty cool to see. Loving the graph that is being pulled up here. Great job from ZwiftPower as well with that old school graph. We'll try and get some new graphics, though, obviously coming up here with the new streams that we are producing here, obviously with this new format. Pretty excited for those to be coming down our way. Back in with the D category. They have not been caught yet. Is that right?
No, but you can just see the C's rounding
right
the
there?
straight just behind them. So I think they're just out of sight. I think where this is going to really get sort of more of a chase from the C's where they see them is kind of coming out of that climb out of Fuego Flats, because the D's will probably slow a little bit there. They seem to do that on the reverse KOM. They'll slow a little bit. They won't have the sheer numbers on the downhill, and I think that's probably where the C's will start to see them really pull in a lot of time.
As they do see, this is going to be the little uphill section here that you do go through in just a moment through the Fuego Flats in this little oasis. In this section, probably going to put a little bit of hurt on for the D category. One section where those C's can make up a whole lot of time. The B category also on Fuego Flats chasing hard. This is when things start to get really exciting when it comes to a chase race, Hannah, because now the categories all start coalescing together very quickly. The question is going to be whether or not the E's and the A's are going to make the catch, because I think on the day-to-day, the B category and the C category, I believe it is kind of a tale already told. The question is, those A's and E's, what are they going to be able to pull off?
Oh, I mean, the E's, when you saw those little estimated finishing times, poor E's, I think, they are elite, but it looked like they were going to be a little bit further behind. I think the A's just had power of the numbers. If I'm going to call it, which I hate doing this early on because I'm probably going to get it wrong, I think I'm going to go the B's. Just looking at that huge sort of blob of green riders, they really are working together well. Even up that climb coming into the desert, they stuck together a bit. A few went off the front, but yeah, I mean, this is the C's, but it looked like a little bit of a smaller group, but they are kind of bunched up nicely together. And looking at that mini map in the top right, they are going to round this sort of right-hander. It's a little bit of an uphill coming into here. And those D's, they are just ahead now. So as soon as they get them in sight, you're going to see this motivation go up and those watts start to go up.
35 seconds, Anna. They got 35 seconds. This is when things really start to heat up now. The B category, though, are right on the heels now at this point. You can see in this, here we go. This is going to start getting super exciting because the B category and the C category are going to come together. At that point, though, Anna, there is the reality. I mean, you can see right here. This is, I mean, they're literally right here. But once this catch here is made, which as you can see, they're starting to grab a couple of these C's that are straggling off the back here in this B category. But then there are C category riders that may have a sprint. If they can hang on, they can still win the race. It's not like the race is completely over for those C category riders. Sure, it'd be easier if the whole team of C's could stay away, but they still, if there's the power within some of those riders there to hang on, especially on a flatter course like this, grab that sprint with the B's as you come through and work together to hold off the A's and the E's as well.
Yeah, it's. I've got to ask a question though, maybe to the community. What's the etiquette here? So if you've been caught and you're passed through, can you latch on to the group that just caught you? Is that kind of okay to do? I've never kind of been sure. So people can let me know the etiquette of this chase racing, and these guys should have them in their sights now, just ahead on the straight. And I've seen a good lot of chat coming in onto the screen. A few people saying it's 35 seconds, ride or die is one I saw that was one of the faves. These guys are really pushing numbers. And I just like this teamwork. I've got to say, the C's here are looking really good. The D's kind of split up quite early on, but these C's are working as a cohesive little group. They look like a little school of fish here.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't made this catch yet. The D's are really kind of holding out. I mean, 35 seconds I thought was going to come back pretty quickly there. I'm going to see if I can head to the front. Now it's down to 20 seconds there. I thought where is this B group? This has ended up staying away a little bit longer than I was anticipating. The B category now, let's go ahead and jump on over there and take a quick look. They are just leaving the little oasis now, and I believe we're just in a moment here going to start seeing that C category start to pop up into the live feed here in just a moment as we move our way forward.
Oh, A alert. Just seen that pop up on the screen. Looks as though the B's are getting a bit nervous about the A's coming behind. And that's the cool thing about this chase racing. You not only have to focus on that group ahead, you have to really keep in mind on what's happening on the group behind, because it's all good if you if these B's catch up to the C's, but then what if the A's are right behind them and roll over them near the finish? So you've got to kind of have people who are looking ahead and people who are looking behind. I have seen quite a bit of chat coming on that etiquette-wise, in a chase race, it is fine to latch on to a group that's past you. And you can see that here with a few of the blue riders in the mix here with all of these green B's.
If we can see those A category riders making that chase here in just a moment. I'm seeing some big names actually in this A category. This is so cool to see how many of the top riders across all of the world of Zwift. You know, what I want to know is, like, are we going to have a huge TTT tomorrow? Or is this kind of like a warm-up for the TTT? Because WTRL artists are, like, killing it back-to-back here. I'll have to ask Martin what the TT signups are like, what they are across the board, or if this brings in a different part of the community, too. That'd be kind of an interesting stat to take a look at as well.
So for me, if I look at my own anecdotal evidence, I don't do the TTTs, but I'll do the chase races. Reason being is that I find it hard sometimes if I can't make it, if something kind of comes up, then I don't want to let down a TTT team. I'm a little bit, with 3 kids under 4, it's sort of a bit easier to do something like this because there's a whole lot during the day and I'm not letting anyone down if something comes up. So for me, the flexibility of the chase race is perfect. And then for a TTT, sort of the team element and totally different style of racing. So I think it's kind of just going for 2 maybe different areas of the community with a little bit of a vector in the middle where people do both. Those people who can push high power numbers for 2 days in a row. I'm not one of those.
Real quickly, I'm going to jump across here because I believe we have Alexander Gagnon here jumping in, making some catches. And this is going to be the E-Pens from ODZ, the top level elites now. At this point, they're flying 54 kilometers per hour here. This is as fast as it gets, and they are hunting now at this point. Are the E's gonna win today? I don't know if the E's have won once today here. Anna, do you have anything on that, or if not, I'm gonna jump in with Martin.
I don't think, from what I've seen, even just from the chat of people saying who won, it does kind of look like it's been a mix of A's, B's, and C's. I don't know if an elite team has won today. This elite team, we've seen some big names in here, and the benefit of that sort of smaller group, I mean, I say smaller, relatively speaking, it's a massive group for E's, is that they can kind of work together a little bit more. Just you can see here, they're pushing off the front. It's almost like they're doing sort of pulls on the front, dropping back a bit, next person pulls on the front, and that's keeping their speed ultra high.
Look at these names. Alexander Gagnon. I'm seeing Luke Gilbeau. I'm seeing some of the BL13. Rowan King. Barry Baker here from Vision. I believe Kirchmer's in here as well. Almeida. Some of the biggest names we have in Zwift racing. I believe most of these riders here are going to be top 100, top 200 riders over on ZwiftPower rankings as well. So Toyota Cryo RDT is here. So solid group, as you can see here, with the elite riders. They're 21K in. 22.8 is where. So they are about not quite. They're 1 kilometer right now behind the C category, who is just starting the climb now at this point. They're just starting to climb out of the Fuego Flats for the C category. B category have to be between this C category and the A category, actually. So everything's starting to come together at this point, and I think today the elites may have done it.
You reckon? Oh, I don't know. I think just looking here, where are the have the D's been caught yet by this C group?
Moving forward, have they not been caught? No, I think
there's kind of they must have been caught. I thought they'd get caught on this little climb coming out of the desert. I personally think the B's may have this today. I think the B's will be able to stay away from that elite charging group. Although looking at that pace of over 50K, that's nerve-wracking. That's like a shark breathing down your neck. The sharks breathe. Sorry, they don't breathe.
They do. They have to breathe. They breathe water, right?
Yeah.
We do have the B category making the catch here in just a second. You can see the green jerseys coming on flying now at this point. This is the C category. The catch is about to be made. And Anna, I don't know. Here we go. Because if we take a quick look over here, there's the E's on the climb, Anna. Same climb here at this point, catching that B category. And now the power-ups are being thrown. It's all in now with the E category here. The elites have made this catch of the B's now at this point. And at this point, I think it's just going to be out who can hang on to the pace of the elites.
Wow, never listen to what I say. The B's have been steamrolled through here by these elites. Look at that pace difference. That is insane. Now these guys are getting really close to the end. It's a 29-kilometer race. We're looking at 6K to go. This is where it's going to start getting really cool because the group dynamic will disintegrate and people will be going for that all-out win. And this is just insane. Look at that group coming from behind. Oh my gosh. How demoralizing.
So that's the B group, actually. Okay, so that's the actual B group. That group we saw caught was a chasing B group. Okay, the E's are just coming over the top here at this point. Just over the top. But there's not a lot of landscape to work with, though, here. They're doing 55 kilometers per hour here. The E group, as you can see there, also doing, what does it look like, 56. They're about to get in the super tuck range, 57. Do they have the numbers going to be the question as they swell with the rest of these B and C category riders here? Will this front group be able to really ramp it up? Let's start taking a look at the numbers. They need to start sacrificing now, Anna. That's the reality is, do they have the numbers? Do they have the power? Full-on sprints on the front, every single power-up that you have, because this C-B mixture, they could pull it off if they sacrificed everything they got.
That is huge. This group will be massive now. You can just see the greens kind of like making their way through those blue C's. But the blue C's, some of them will latch on and then they'll have a huge group coming into the finish. Is that enough to hold off that smaller group of E's? Now the E's, what do they do here? Because obviously they've got some stars in there. Do the stars start doing early flyaways to just really go for that glory of the individual win? Because they've really, really got to keep working together right until the last moment to be able to catch this group. I mean, this is where it gets pretty exciting tactics-wise. Apparently Kirchmer is calling out some tactics and calling out splits in that elite group, and that has worked well for them today.
Yeah, you did. You have seen Kirchmer actually taking some leadership there. Good on him to do so. Let's see if we can cut across here. We're in with the C category. We'll see if we can mix them up here a little bit. Now we are mixed up. Good to see. So now we have opened up so we can see all the categories between each other now. And this is going to lead the pack. We've got D's, we've got C's, we've got B's in here now. The E category is hard charging. They still got half a kilometer here at this point. If we do the match, this is, half a K. What's the pace? 61 kilometers per hour, 60 kilometers per hour. But this is on the downhill section, just coming off of it. Still 50 kilometers per hour here from this front group. It might come right down to a sprint. Kirchmer said 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. Like between the two.
1 minute. 3K, 1 minute. Oh man, this is, I know usually in like pro racing, you say 10 seconds per kilometer in that last sort of 5K, but these guys are moving quick and these bunches are massive. I think the B's and C's are doing well here, all sticking together. They've got that little push that's going to come out of the tunnel. That's going to slow them down. They won't have that kind of big pack dynamic, and that's where the E's, I think, will start launching their big attacks.
Oh my goodness, look at this now. Here we go. It's going to be a right-hand turn in just a moment here from this E category as we bring them back in, and it's swelling at the front a little bit. Quintala now taking pull at 5 watts per kilogram. What do the B categories have? They've also got, that's the thing, at the later sections of this race, Anna, some of these B category riders, they are going to have similar to that elite level of like just a 30-second 1 minute tight effort, right? Like they can kind of hide out a little bit for a while, use those last matches at the end, and hold off a hard charging E-Pack at this point. This is one of the best chase races we've ever seen.
This is amazing.
Throw with an LFG in chat. Thomas Wall, one of our top next esport riders here. I'm loving this.
This is so good. I mean, those E's are absolutely buoying each other up to make this happen. Now, can they stay as a group? I mean, I'm looking at these B's and C's. These guys are humming along 45K an hour. They're coming into these last 2 kilometers. I mean, this is crazy.
It's 0.2K at this point. In 1K, they've brought back 0.3. They've brought back 300 meters at this point. It's a 200-meter difference. They can almost be seen. The E category here in the lower right, as you can see, about to hit a similar section of course now. Now it starts to open up. It might come down to an all-out sprint at the end, but I think this B category has done it. I think BC has done it, and it may still be a C category rider that pulls it off today.
Imagine that. I mean, this is now where it gets real. This is where we'll see the disintegration of the group. We're going to have people going off. You've got just over a kilometer to go. Coming out of that climb, I saw orange numbers. People are going to start at some point realizing they need to push away from this group because an all-out sprint with what looks like about, I don't know, could this be 500 riders in the front? Because this is insane. Look at these E's. So close. Do they see them in picture? Do they see them in the view yet?
They can almost see them. It's so close. They're right around the corner here, but the B category is about to take that right-hand turn in just a second here. I don't think they've quite done it. They've got to really get up and out of the saddle full gas here at this point. What are they pulling on the front? Thrall's only at 5'8". They've given up, I think. I think they're fighting for what? They're not fighting for the win any longer, it looks to me. They're starting to look at each other.
Oh, they've got, someone's got to sprint off the front. They've just had that little climb here, the B's and C's coming through. But I think you're right, Nathan. I think maybe they've taken it. We can just see they're going to come kind of round these corners, and then they're going to start to see the finish line. They'll be super motivated. I think the E's, like you said, I'm surprised. I thought someone would be pushing off the front at more that 6 and 7 watts a kg.
GG, it looks like here now as the E category are just taking their right-hand turn. They're almost within sight, but it's going to hold on to 100 meters, it looks like. Off the front, it's going to be Get Zwifty now. Nope, Melina here from Foods right here hammering away, but now it's going to be Get Zwifty from Next Esports. 15.7 watts per kilogram, it looks like, for the win out here today. Next, are going to take it down in the B category. The E's, look at this. It was seconds, though, for the E category. They were right there. Unable to do so, though, as Gumbo comes to the line. It was only a 5 or 10 second difference. Oh, my gosh. What a chase race. Some of the best racing between the categories we've ever seen.
Oh, that was phenomenal. Crucial thing there is I think when the Bs caught that group of Cs, some Cs latched on and added to the power of the group. I don't know if we saw all the riders in there. I think we were limited on like 100, but I think there was probably like 200-300 riders in that group. And wow, that momentum was insane. And the E's, little mistakes there at the end. I think if they'd just come out of the tunnel and really pushed, they should have gone early. They should have gone with a 1K flyer. I think they could have done it. They left it too late.
I have to agree with you there, Anna. I think, well, it looked to me like they started fighting with each other. Honestly, like 5'8" on the front in an E category race when you're pulling TTT, those guys, I've raced with a lot of those guys, and you're doing a TTT like this for 40 minutes, you can do 7 watts per kilogram on the front, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
and if you're sacrificing yourself for the group, it's orange numbers. That's just the reality at the end there. I didn't see a whole lot of orange numbers. I think the E category shot themselves in the foot looking for the trophy.
Are we looking at a team of champions versus a champion team? You got to say it, right? You're looking at the B's and C's, champion team, E's, team of champions. They couldn't pull it together at the end. That's where the team disintegrated. That's what I think. That last 2K, that shows who's working as a team.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. And obviously one of the most popular formats we're ever going to have. And everybody, one thing I want to say here, let's start getting some momentum around each one of these categories, right? We've got 5 categories across the board. Let's start developing a little bit. We can even have, we have kind of mascots. They're going to be cool little jerseys, but start getting some personality behind them all. We absolutely love seeing everybody in there cheering on each of the categories. Different categories too, Anna, are going to have better race courses for each other. Let's just talk to that a little bit, right? Like some of the, like looking toward next week or the week after that, it's like the D category, all right, well, this is our week, and what are we going to do? What's going to be the plan, right?
We're going to start seeing some groups just generating out of this. There's going to be chat. But again, another interesting thing with AutoCat is you could have a great race, and then the next week you're in a different category and you're trying to work with this new team. So, it's just so dynamic. And then looking at the course, with the Ds, they're probably wanting that really flat course, just using their raw watts. Some of the As, where were the A's today? That's the interesting thing.
Where were the A's? Yeah.
Where were the A's? We didn't see much of them.
Great question.
I thought some A's would tie in with the elite riders, jump on the back, but I think the elites were just going too fast. So the A's, they've got to look at what do they do? I think they maybe split up too early and they just didn't have that dynamic happening. But yeah, weeks coming ahead, this is just going to get more and more intense as all these different chases are made on different courses with different riders. I'm loving it.
Loving all the chat coming through. Sam Crofts coming on in, as well as Justin Levine. We are seeing a lot of B category chat, obviously, as they took it out today. Lots and lots of fun. There's still more chase racing to go throughout today. You're doing a chase race, right? Later today?
I am. I'm in, I got auto-catted to Bs, so I don't know if I'll get dropped pretty early, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try my hardest. So I'm pretty excited. Watching this, though, I'm probably going to be that chatty person there looking at all the pace differences and being like, come on, let's do this. I want to win it for the Bs. I'm actually kind of thinking, this is totally off the cuff, but man, if we could get some T-shirts and stuff, real life swag that you go,
Heck
Team
yeah,
B.
there we go, Team
that
B.
would just be epic.
It would be absolutely awesome. Really, really, really good. Now, I'm seeing some stuff coming through here. Okay. Let's see if we can have a little chat actually with Martin in just a second here. I wanted to highlight, though, something that we're going to be covering, Anna. And this is going to be the 5th annual Women's Team Championship coming up on December 11th, 2021 for Team Fearless that's putting that together. So be on the watch out for that. And then obviously next week, and all of this is going to be over on WTRL.racing for events. World Bicycle Relief next week to benefit them, number 138. We still have the TTT tomorrow. We'll chat more about this tomorrow. And the goal, I believe, is 75,000 that we're aiming at actually to benefit here during this time of giving. So make sure to head over to WTRL and start getting your team together and start your fundraising, because it will help obviously your in-game results. But the idea there is to benefit World Bicycle Relief and individuals, especially to up their abilities to just survive, and the what a bicycle can do for not just survive but to thrive. Actually, I should say. In their communities. So definitely check that out. There'll be links to World Bicycle Relief. I believe we're going to have a chat tomorrow with them, as well as obviously next week for number 138. Anna, that was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You know what? What's interesting, one more thing about the chase race, like the way that it builds, right? Like it's like this, it starts, everybody's like, oh yeah, we're kind of off on our own, doing our own little things. And then all of a sudden the tension starts to rise, and it comes right down to this last moment.
Yeah.
Of whether or not they're going to hang on, or who's going to get the catch, who's going to take the win. And then when everyone kind of takes the gloves off and says, all right, all in for myself, it gets just so interesting. So.
Oh, I love it. I don't actually think I'm going to need my morning coffee on these days. I mean, I am absolutely buzzing out. So that was epic. Love it. Love it. Great job, WTRL. Another awesome community event.
Yeah, great job, WTRL. Thanks a lot. Appreciate them, obviously, so much. Thanks a lot, Anna, for jumping in with the commentary. If you haven't done so already, make sure to head on to WTRL.racing and sign up for your race and check out the new AutoCat system. We'll be back next week for the next chase race. We'll be back tomorrow for the TTT, myself and Dave Toll. You still have about 50 minutes to sign up for the TTT tomorrow, actually, if you still want to get into it. So go ahead and do that. Hit those follow buttons, subscribe, and comment. It helps out the channel a ton. And we will see you tomorrow for the team time trial, everybody. As always, right on.